Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore thee.
Now, I believe the technical term for that is yah. There's actually quite a bit going on, and we're going to get into all of it because this is the deep dive with Lesage singing. We're going to go into every single little nuance and detail because these performers deserve it. Not only are we going to show what's happening, we're going to show how it's happening because we're giant nerds on this channel. Let's go. One of the things we're going to look for here is we're going to look for mouth shape, and that's going to determine the vowel. It's not always a good indicator, and we will get into that as well. But you're going to see a snarling and then a rounding of the lips. Take a look at this.
Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore thee.
You get that snarling, you get the pursing of the lips. Now, just that by itself actually doesn't give us the amount of twang that we would need to get that sound. There's something else going on. These muscles right here, these little bricks, this is called the areoepiglottic sphincter. The purposes of the rest of the video, we're going to call these the AES for short. Now, the AES does something very, very specific. What we have here is a spectrogram. We're going to look at the frequencies of my voice to see specifically what the contraction of these muscles does to the sound. Joyful, joyful world. That is the frequency range we kind of find obnoxious. Watch what happens when I go nasal. What you are about to hear might disturb you. Viewer discretion is advised. And I want you to know that I'm sorry and that my dog hates me. Sorry, Anya. These things have an entire range of motion, and they're tiny. Actually just about the size of a vocal fold. And for the women who would be singing here, this would be about the size of a dime. The finesse to be able to contract and extend and all of this stuff to control the sound as nuanced as she did is expertise personified.
God of glory, Lord of love.
Yeah, you see that? God. That fine control. For me as an opera singer, it's kind of very straightforward. We want almost a consistent amount with very little variation. That's how we project over an orchestra. It's a whole thing. Let's move on. She's doing speech level singing, getting all of these colors, all of these different nuanced ranges that are picked up by the mic.
Hearts unfold like flowers.
Ooh. Hearts unfold like flowers. Also, it's important to mention that the AES is going to be part of the belting formula, so we're going to see that as well. That aspirate there, I love it. So these disgusting little things are the vocal folds. You're going to see this pop open right there. Boom! These are the vocal folds. This is actually what happens during falsetto. Now, you can get adduction, a connection of the vocal folds throughout all of this right here. So when we talk about falsetto, really the question is how much of these vocal folds right here are touching? And also how much of those little flaps as they're separated are vibrating, because they can go like a V shape like this. I often give falsetto and singers who use it a lot of crud, but it's actually quite difficult to maintain in this sort of a context. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And she maintains that full sound. This requires immaculate breath control, what we would call support. But what, pray tell, is support? Now, because this is the deep dive, we're going to get into support. I don't know what I'm doing here. This is the torso. We're going to take a look at all these muscles, the lats, the intercostals right here, right in between the rib cage. All of these muscles have to be suspended and in some cases contracted in order to prevent a lot of air coming through. This is what we call support. But why? Why do we need to do that? Now, before I get in any, well, actually, no, diaphragmatic breathing, listen, the diaphragm works whether or not you want it to. And you know how you know if you're not breathing with your diaphragm? You'd be dead. Lungs are attached to everything. All the diaphragm does is contract, push, pull down, and then the lungs fill because nature abhors a vacuum. But how much they fill and how the velocity of the breath of the exhale is controlled, that's all the torso. That's right, you've been lied to. There are some videos on the channel that get into that. There are definitely older videos, but there are a lot of misunderstandings that I can help clear up. And yes, I'm about to plug voice lessons. I'm running a special. I am doing $40 lessons for 40 minutes for the first 100 people that use the promo code down in the description. It'll also be pinned on the comments. This ends July 10th, so get it done quick, and I will help you free your voice and clear up all the mashugana, that is the misunderstanding that is all over the internet. Back to the video. If I blow through these two pieces of paper, what do you think is going to happen? They come together. Crazy, right? Now, cameras are not perfect, but if we play this, you're going to see that the vocal folds are oscillating. They're coming together and they're going apart. But you see this consistent opening? This is because the folds without breath don't actually come together. It is the Bernoulli effect that allows for that. Go back and we take a look at this excellent, excellent singing. We're going to see even more control using that aspirate. And to do that in the middle of the vowel, the middle of the phrase.
Oh my God!
Amazing. Just a little slight lifting of that larynx there. One might say a smidgen.
To the clouds of sin and sadness,
lot of stuff going on with the larynx. Trombones are weird, but we can really use them as a metaphor for our throat. The larynx, whoa, okay, that is what? No, I forgot that was there.
Brush the outside.
This is the footage that I wanted, actually. So look at the larynx right here. You're going to see it move up and down, and the tone is going to change. It's like that trombone effect. By lowering the larynx through natural means, not using your tongue, you can use other muscles, you can use a deeper inhale to lower the larynx. But by lowering it, you elongate the vocal tract. That essentially gives you a larger instrument. Think violin to cello. Nothing that extreme, but that's the idea. We have so many options to change our vocal tract. We call it placement. We call it vowels. We can morphify the shaper. We can control the shapes. And it is in that nuance that we have great singers who can do so much. Now, hold on just a minute. Am I saying this right? Is Whoopi Goldberg conducting? Is she just there or is she doing it? Beethoven used to insist that he conduct, so there was actually some guy to the side and Beethoven would like whip his arms around. I don't think that's what's happening. I think she's actually conducting. I'm gonna have to isolate this moment of epic.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah. There are so many adjectives that can try to explain that, but I gotta hear this level of gloriousness once more. Nice. Some folks would say that that's a little bit of a wide vibrato. How can you have a problem with the gloriousness of that note? That is everything you want. And the only reason it is wide, it's not a technical issue. It's she's belting and she's also tilting the larynx. So belting and singing like more classically, those are very different things. Will I hear you sing once more? I have scared my dog. Will Now, if you've done any digging around vocal anatomy or anything else, you've probably heard about the cricothyroid muscles. These tilt the larynx, specifically the thyroid cartilage. And what that does is it takes these vocal folds, which are attached to it, and it stretches them like a rubber band. So you get more power, and because there's this fight between the vocal folds and the cricothyroid muscles, you get this instability, and that creates a vibrato. The last time I checked, there's still disagreement in how the belt mechanic works, or at least how the thyroid cartilage tilts. A woman that I really respect from Oxford, she posits that the thyroid cartilage goes backwards. And by having it go backwards, you fatten the folds. And so you have this fattening of the folds by tilting the larynx backwards, and then the cricothyroid muscles contract. And so the vocal folds are a lot different than they would be. So hence that weird vibrato. In my case, it's a little bit more bleedy. Hey, we can't all be Patty. I love making these things, but a lot of times people don't always like to watch these things. However, if this gets enough traction, this video, and or somebody gets a lesson, even just the one, I can justify taking my time on doing part 2 and doing more of these in general. So again, 40 for 40 for 40. That's 40 minutes for $40 for the first 40 people. That's down in the description down below. Thanks for watching.